Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20, with yet another rambling, chit-chatting edition of what's going on, what I want to go on, what I hope is going on with you, and so on and so forth. No real topic today. Let's just see where it goes. First issue or item is comments. And there have been a couple of comments that in the past I might have just deleted because it's like clearly they don't understand me. They're not watching me enough to get my drift. And so I don't comment, but I just leave them there for your entertainment as well. And so there's one recently, it could have been under the grocery haul one, I don't know, because the way I get my feed of comments is like the most recent, and then if I look to the right, I can see what podcast it came from. But I didn't pay attention to the last two because they were just like, it's kind of a beat up. It's kind of, I'm smarter than you. It's kind of like, oh, perhaps you didn't know. But anyway, it's a more educated version of trolling. It's like you're not even listening to me, because all the items that you posted don't even come close to any items that I would eat, really, okay? Just so you know. But I leave them open, so in case any of you want to comment. And so, yes, I'm lucky because I can buy the grass-fed or the organic for now. It could all end tomorrow. I'm just in a good run right now where I can afford those sort of foods, and I choose to buy them. But it's also because I don't have to buy a lot of food anymore. If I'm buying a couple of dozen of eggs, the good ones that are like $6 a dozen, that's $12. And then a pound of butter for another $6, that's $18. A pint of organic cream, call it $5, that's $23. And then a couple of packages of organic grass-fed beef. Usually I can find some for like $5 a pack, so I'm not even at $50 yet. And then you can add in the organic romaine lettuce and things like that. And so my grocery bill isn't as huge as it used to be because I am cooking nutritionally dense foods for our meals. And I have 2 meals a day and my bulletproof coffee, my low fat, not low fat in low fat, my not as many fats bulletproof coffee at 3 in the morning. And then my first meal of the day, if I can wait till 11 or 12, it's a grand day. And then keep my window at 4 more hours of eating, have my dinner, lunch between 3 and 4. It's perfect. I mean, my second meal of the day. So those are some of the things, and I've been doing my own version of a sugar podcast to see what's going on, and I found a Jamie Oliver one, and I, if I had bumper stickers on my car, it would say I break for Jamie Oliver. He had me when he did the Louisiana most fattest counties of school children. And, he is on a mission, and I just so honor that he's able to do that, and I'm sure his restaurants fund a lot of it. And this one was all about sugar. He went to Mexico he had an interview with somebody from some sugar council in England, and man, was he so good at, like, answering a question with a question, or just answering in such a foolish way that, you could tell that if Jamie had 5 questions, if Jamie had 10 questions, he just stopped at 5 because he realized this guy is that good at deflecting. And so then he went to Mexico, and he went to the most indigent little villages, and one of them has entering whatever village name it was, and then the first thing you see is Coca-Cola. And they honor Coca-Cola like a nectar from the gods. I'm not kidding you. This documentary that I watched is 11 months old, and it's called Sugar Rush. And so he interviewed people that they nurse their babies and then they feed them Coke. or Coke syrup in a bottle. I mean, that young. And so they absolutely, they treat, it's like a wine or holy water, this Coca-Cola. And when they asked this man that knows a lot about this village, he said that the adults drink between 3 and 4 cans a day. And they suffer, they have obesity, it's rampant, and they are half the size of England, and they have something like twice the obesity rate of England. And they average 7,000 amputations from diabetes per year. And so that was like a half-hour documentary. And then I moved on to an interview with Dr. Gary Taubes, The Case Against Sugar, Good Calories, Bad Calories. And the interviewer, she was good. And I'm not all the way through it yet. I think it's 50 minutes long. But so she was, oh goodness, what was I going to say? He was talking about the sugar that we just introduce into children's lives at such a young age. And she said to him, do you think there's such a thing as addiction to sugar? And he said, well, I can't really say that, yes, there is an addiction to sugar, but people sure act like it is. And he was talking about things like baby formula with the sugar in it and the soybeans in it and the GMOs in it. And that's what we're feeding newborns if they're not breastfeeding. And then he talked about like what could be more of a welcome to the world of sugar with baby's first birthday, where they like sometimes give them their own little cake and they make a mess and do videos of it, and isn't it cute? But it really is settling in any young child, but when they can make their own decisions and not just be handed a cake or handed things, that they will choose the sugar item over something different. And so it was just very, very interesting. And he said that when they test rats, the average life of a rat is over 1 year. And he said the first year of a rat, when they gave it sugar, there was absolutely no difference between those that got sugar and those that didn't. And he said when the rat hit middle age, their middle age, which is like our middle age, all the issues started happening. And it's very, very interesting. So for us, that would, of course, be the metabolic syndrome, the prediabetes, the diabetes type 2, and so forth, along with the obesity and the heart risk and then the brain risks. And so he said that the entire first year of the mouse's life, they're fed sugar and they have no outward symptoms of anything coming down the pike. And then wham, the middle age of the mouse, and all of those things happen, which is not unlike here for us. As we, I tend to think we're so global now in the choices that we have for foods that it's not just a USA thing, it's a USA food lifestyle. And so that's where that interview left off. But he is totally invested into sugar for his studies and for his lifetime. And so those are the two podcasts. I have Dr. Robert Lustig to come, and he's from Tufts, or actually the Children's Hospital in Boston, Harvard educated, a Harvard professor, and he is totally obsessed with sugar as well. And so that's how that's rolling with all of that. And it's funny because you're going at this point, Sarah, this is a Keto Under 20 channel. You're absolutely right. But sometimes I think it's important to know where we came from. And by stopping our intake of sugar, we are avoiding a lot of these serious, deadly health issues. And I, for one, am so glad. And I know that because I can have Xyla and stevia drops in my 2 cups of coffee, that's the only place that I like the little bit of sweet. I don't really cook anything else sweet. And when it comes to doing things like a sauce, a spaghetti sauce or a pizza sauce, I use the Rouse. It has the least amount of grams of sugar in it. And it fits into my keto under 20. And when I'm having something like the sauce, either on the pizza or in, like with Italian sausage or something over zoodles, I'm very aware of it. And it does, those two things, those two places cut into, of course, the veggie carbs that I would have for the day. Veggie carbs are not at all like refined carbs, not at all. They happen to have the same name when you're looking at your macros, but they are a lifetime apart. It's like the difference between bourbon and tea coming under beverage. There's just the only relation they have is that they're wet and you swallow them and you drink them. You don't eat them with a knife and fork. So, yeah, the reason that I'm just harping on sugar just a little bit is because it's hidden in a lot of things. And I remember when I entered Weight Watchers in June of 2015, the one and only meeting that I went to was about points at a barbecue. So, your first barbecue, I'm assuming she was thinking 4th of July, and she did the usual suspects, which was coleslaw, which usually has sugar in it, corn, which has a lot of natural sugars in it, and you know that corn is not a vegetable, it's really a grain. So if you're having corn, it's really a double whammy because it's a sugar and a grain all rolled into one. And then the other suspects like barbecue sauce and I think there was something else sugary, but definitely those. And when I led you to do the sugar homework, it was the hidden sugars in foods. And so I will be listening to more hidden sugars in foods as I go through my weekend of working overnight, where I have usually ample time to watch podcasts. And, I'm keto under 20 for the duration. I'm not switching up. It seems to be most compatible with my older metabolism. And I can eat plenty of food because my food addict wants me to have plenty of food. And I make sure that it's super satiating, which means that it's still high fat. Today, for example, I'm having 3 scrambled eggs with a DiLuigi sweet Italian organic sausage for my first meal of the day, and my second meal of the day is a loaded fathead pizza. And so, yes, it's a treat. But yes, with my carbs, my day is under 18 carbs, and that includes the pizza, the almond meal pizza, which is, of course, high in carbs. And so I've included it, but I'm having asparagus and, I guess, tomato sauce to be the smaller, lower veggies of the day. So that's it from here. Just a little check-in, check-up from the neck up on my keto under 20, along with being grateful that sugar is not an issue for me today. If you are withdrawing from sugar, trust and believe that there's going to be some emotional and hunger issues surrounding it. That's the price that we pay as we withdraw. But if you stop your sugar cold turkey, you're not going to die, but you will have the problems and symptoms, maybe even dreams, for a few days, and then each day that you're not having sugar, you're losing your cravings. Having keto-fied desserts keeps that pilot light lit. I don't care if there's 0 grams of white table sugar in it. Visually, it keeps your brain lit up like opiates. And so, yep, you'll continue to hear me harp on those things. That's just the way I roll. So enjoy the comments that I'm not deleting, and comment on them if you wish. Clearly, they are not watching Sarah's Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20 to make the comments that they do. Some people can just stick their own feet in their mouths, and, I shudder to think of how often I must have and could still do it. But anyway, they're out there for you to read. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20. Thanks so much for watching. Couldn't do this without you. Bye-bye for now.